All right, it is the day before Christmas Eve here at Reaper's Electronics, and I'm just gonna show you guys pretty much our workflow. We have two PS5s that we need to do. Both of them have HDMI issues and they're overheating, so usually that repair takes me about like an hour and 20 minutes for each one of them. And of course we have a OLED switch charging port that we're gonna be replacing as well. And again, this is before we even open today, so I have to try to get this stuff done in the next 3 hours, which I think is manageable. I think we can do it. But yeah, let me just show you the login sheet here for the past couple days too, just to show you how busy we are. So as you can see, just from like the 20th to the 21st, I mean, absolutely slammed. So we'll see how today goes, because it is the day before Christmas Eve, so we may get a lot of people in, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. Of course, we're gonna start with this switch repair here, because this has been in my shop for probably like 2 weeks, unfortunately, just because of, you know, how slammed that we've been. So yeah, we're gonna try to get this charging port swapped out, and then hopefully it works. Sometimes I have to replace these ones like 2 or 3 times before I get them to work. So yeah, we're gonna get this swapped first, and then we'll test it out and make sure it works, and if it does, then we'll move on to one of the PS5s. All right, we had the port removed, so everything looks good, which is good because there's no like ripped up pads or anything, which is fantastic because those things are a pain to replace. So we're gonna go ahead and pop the new port on there and get that secured. And we have the new port on there now. I also moved this piece back over because I kind of nudged it, but nice and secured. So we're gonna go ahead and put the board back in and test it out, make sure it works. All right, so we have it all plugged up and it looks like it's charging. So we're gonna go ahead and leave it plugged in, make sure it turns on. And usually I charge these up at least like 50% of the way for people. But yeah, so as soon as it turns on and shows it life, then we'll go ahead and give the customer a call, and I'm pretty sure they'll be excited because it's ready before Christmas. We are on to the next item here, which is a HDMI repair and clean on a PS5. Obviously that HDMI port is pretty jacked up. They did only give us one of the panels on it, which is fine. So it just makes it, I don't know, to where we just don't have to put a panel on. So whatever, we're gonna go ahead and get this opened up and probably fix the overheating issue first, then the HDMI port. With the other side panel off, you can see there's a little bit of dust built up in here. It's nothing too crazy, but we'll see how it looks when we pop this off. Also, while we were doing this, let's see if I can get this to, hang on, can't press the power button, hang on. This switch came on and started charging, so everything looks good on there. I don't know what's up with this. We'll have to exit out of that, but yeah, it's charging up, good to go. So we're onto this PS5 and we'll give this customer a call. Okay, for some reason it opened up that weird screen, but yep, as we can see here, 2% charging, so everything looks good. We'll give them a call. So we got the fan out, and as you can see inside of here, it is a lot worse than it looked from the outside. See, from the outside, it looks so much better now that I like cleaned it up a little bit. This stuff is like stuck on here, but yeah, as you can see in there, see how the heat sink back there basically has none of the ventilation showing there. So it's basically all covered up. So yeah, this thing definitely needs to be cleaned out. So yeah, we're gonna continue with our cleaning here, get the side panel popped off here, and then see what we got inside. We got the inside of the panel here looking nice and clean, but of course, look at these dust bunnies. Even look at that little heat sink on top there, completely covered. Yeah, this is crazy. This thing is not breathing at all. Look at that. It already looks way better. But yeah, I go pretty much just like level by level. Anything I can get, I kind of use this brush here, like a paintbrush, and a vacuum, and I just brush and vacuum at the same time, which I would record, but you know, I need 2 hands to do that. So as you can see here, that's what the heatsink should look like. So, but yeah, there's still a whole bunch of stuff stuck up under there. So of course we have to take all of these off here. So we're gonna take off this panel, the motherboard, and then the panel underneath, as well as we're gonna take off the liquid metal. That way that stuff doesn't make a mess. And then I'm pretty sure there'll be a bunch of dust under there. So let's check it out. All right, besides the like dust and lint and stuff that was stuck in here, this is also the issue. This is a majority of the issue, actually. You see that bare spot right there in the middle? That's what causes the overheating problem on the PS5s. Some of these will come in and they'll be absolutely clean, but this liquid metal right here, just from standing the console up, when it separates like that, it doesn't go back where it's supposed to be, and it creates those bare spots on there. which of course is connected to the other side, which is the APU, and this is what runs the motherboard, basically the brains. You see all the little nerve endings there. So yeah, that bare spot right there is no good, and that has been known to actually kill these consoles. So we're gonna have to replace that, but we do that anyways when we do our cleaning. So we're gonna go ahead and disassemble the console more, and then clean out the rest of the dust. Also, the switch is now at 17%. The customer also called me back. I didn't think he was going to call me back yet. We're not even open. But he called me back and he said he's super excited. So, especially because I got it ready before Christmas. So, he's going to be coming and picking that up. But yeah, I'm pretty excited about that too. I'm glad we could get this fixed for him before Christmas. After taking off the liquid metal here on the heatsink side, it looks like there's going to be some damage that can't be removed, but as long as this surface area here is like a polished, like shiny area, the liquid metal will stick to it. You just don't want, you see like this weird like light streaks right there, we're gonna have to get rid of those because those don't allow the liquid metal to stick. And if it can't stick, then it'll just create bare spots again. So yeah, we're gonna have to clean this up a little bit more, get it like a polished shine almost, and then these little black spots, some of those may stay there permanently. That's just permanent damage that happens, but it's not gonna affect anything. All right, this is with all of the imperfections gone, so you can tell that there's a little bit of a difference there. I'm gonna take a razor blade over those because sometimes those build up and it doesn't allow for a soft surface, like a smooth surface. It feels a little rough, but I'm gonna take a razor blade to it and see if any of that comes off. If any of it does, then obviously that's gonna work out for us. But if it doesn't come off, then that means that it's also not gonna cause a problem. So, well, nothing really came off with the razor blade, so it looks to be good. Now we're gonna lift off this aluminum panel here. We have the screws out on it, and we're just gonna see the mess that's underneath here. This will be where a majority of the mess should be anyways. All right. So we got a little bit of dust build up there, but this is a problem. So this is obviously the heatsink. That's where the APU touches, and this is no airflow at all. Also, the power supply, which also creates heat, but indirectly, is completely covered. All right, here's a little bit better look of the heatsink here. So yeah, it's pretty filled up. This is that spot earlier where we cleaned most of it. You can see some stuff got stuck in the corner there. But yeah, we're gonna have to brush this out, vacuum it out. And of course, we're going to do the same thing with the power supply because that is filthy. Look at that. Look at those little vents right there. Crazy. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and clean this up. How does that look? A lot better, right? A lot better. And how about that power supply, huh? That thing is looking immaculate now. And how about this heat sink, huh? Got that thing looking pretty much brand new there. I'm going to get all this put back together here. Look at that. Way different. It's like a whole new console. It's like one of those videos where they show, like, you know, the cars after being detailed. Super clean. All right, we're going to continue putting this back together. All right, so this is the APU side. As you can see, I did have to take the razor to this one. You see those little, like, splotches there? I mean, it's very shiny, so we got it polished really well. But those little splotches right there, those are permanent damage. They were kind of raised a little bit, but I took the razor blade to it and went over it, so it is polished down very nice. That's why it looks so shiny when I come up to this angle. So it is a smooth surface. We're gonna go ahead and put the liquid metal back on there and mix it around. It should be good to go. These are the liquid metal droplets here. I just wanted to show you. So they do, like, retain their form when you, like, suck them up and then spit them out like this, which is pretty funny. But yeah, it's almost like it like sticks to the surface though, which is crazy. This stuff is crazy, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and get this put back on here and should be good to go. The liquid metal is placed back on there and it's sticking perfectly. That's how we want it to look, like a little like lake there. Same thing on the APU side. I always put a little bit less on this side though, just enough to cover the whole area, but I don't want it to be like too liquidy like the heatsink side, because when I flip this over, I don't want it to spill, because if this stuff spills, it'll destroy the entire board. So yeah, now that we got the liquid metal out of the way, we're going to change this port out. All right, we got the port removed here, and the surface looks great for a new port to go on. Needs limited work in order for us to prep it. Just gonna clean it up a little bit from any debris that could cause any bridging on those pads or anything like that, and get a new port on. And we have the new port on here. Looking good, looking brand new. So, up to factory conditions here. I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing back together. I am running a little behind because I have an appointment at 10. Somebody scheduled an appointment, which is crazy. And then somebody else has scheduled an appointment at 3. I think 3. It's like 12 or something. But yeah, I'm running a little behind, so I may have to cut the next console out of filming, but we'll see. One last look before we close it up here. I mean, this thing is looking tip-top shape, immaculate. So HDMI port repair and overheating issue repair. We're gonna go ahead and put this sucker back together, test it out, make sure everything works, and then I'm gonna get on to my next one. All right, so now we have the sucker plugged up, HDMI repair and overheating issue repair. I'm gonna go ahead and test it out, and it looks like it's working perfectly fine for us. Oh yeah. So this sucker is good to go. I'm pretty sure that this person will be more than happy, and we'll be on to the next console. It's starting to get sunny out now, which means it's almost time for opening, so I really need to get going. Okay, this is that second PS5 that we were doing with the overheating and HDMI port as well. This one's a disc version. As you can see, it's not as dirty as the last one, which just goes to show you that, honestly, and this one was having the power, not power issue, but the overheating issue where it actually turned off. So this just goes to show you that it's not just because the console's dirty, but its majority of it is because of that liquid metal that's under there. It just creates those bare spots and causes like extreme overheating. So we're gonna take a look at this one and see. Just as expected, you can see there's some severe issues here. And this is strictly why it was overheating. All right, this little superficial dust in here, not really a big issue. This is the issue. So there's probably going to be some like buildup on this. Not too sure. I'll have to take a look once I clean off the liquid metal. But yeah, this is why it's overheating. And actually, it's kind of funny because I would say probably like 97% of the PS5s that we get in all look like this. The last one actually looked pretty decent, but most of them look like this. So it's surprising how any of them are even still alive. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and take off this liquid metal here and see what the damage is. After cleaning the spot with alcohol, you can see that there's like some weird stuff there. That's not gonna come off with alcohol, but it will come off. I think so. If I remember, it creates like a gummy, like sticky residue almost, and it should come off without alcohol. So if you just use a cotton swab and just rub it, it should cause like friction and allow that to like stick to the cotton swab. But yeah, it doesn't feel like there's like too much damage, so we'll see. All right, so the friction move definitely worked. It feels smooth. Everything looks decent with it. We'll see how well the liquid metal sticks to it. This one's kind of wonky though, but we'll see how well it sticks to it after we clean it. Similar to the last PS5, you can see that there's a bunch of dust accumulation down here where the power supply is and on the heat sink here. So it still allows airflow, but again, this was a majority of the issue. However, still is very dirty. So we're gonna go ahead and clean all of this off, get it looking brand new again, and get it back together. All right, we found a cool little golden nugget in here, aka a huge dust bunny that was definitely accumulating there. That's going to add a lot of heat, especially because if you look on the other side, it's almost exactly where the APU is. So it makes a lot of sense of why the liquid metal splits so easily. These things are like vacuums, though. I always tell people these things are like vacuums. It just pulls in from the fan up here and just spits all the stuff down to the bottom. So they definitely need to be cleaned out pretty often. All right, got it looking close to brand new. There's some dust that like sticks in here. Nothing really we can do about that. It is very hard to get that stuff off, especially if it like has sat on there for so long. You know, I brush it and brush it and brush it, and some of it just doesn't come off. So, but that's not going to cause a problem. We're only worried about the stuff that's blocking vents and stuff that will come off. So, looking good. All right, so this is the APU side here. There's a little bit of permanent damage on this. Wow, I can't get it to... Man, I really shine that thing up. I can't get it to not focus on that. Jeez. Okay, maybe if I put a shadow. Let's see. Well, there's a little bit of a permanent... Oh, there it is. A little bit of permanent damage there in the middle. But other than that, it should be good to go, considering the fact that I can't even get it to stop focusing on that. That's crazy. All right, so the liquid metal stuck perfectly, both on the heatsink side and on the APU side. So you may be wondering about the stuff around here too. That's not a big deal. Most of that I just go ahead and clean out with cotton swab and alcohol and just brushes right out. So, but yep, that sucker is good to go back together besides the HDMI port, which we also need to swap out. We have the new HDMI port on there, so this console is ready to be put back together. Alright, so we fixed the overheating issue and the HDMI port issue. So this console is good to go. This is all for just a short morning here, like probably like 3 hours or so for Reaper's Electronics, the day before Christmas Eve. So yep, we're pretty slammed already. Had people walk in as well too, so. Well, thanks for hanging out with me this morning. This is Jay from Reaper's Electronics. I'm gonna go eat a snack, so Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays.